Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan and today we are going to be going over a lot of trade rumors before free agency starts. Some big updates on Jack Eichel, Dougie Hamilton, David Savard, a lot of different guys. So if you're watching this in the replay, make sure to hit that subscribe button, join the Grav Gang. We're trying to get to 45k subscribers now, which is absolutely unreal. Thank you so much for the support, boys. If you're just coming in, say hello. We got a little bit to talk about here today involving Jack Eichel, but a lot of different stuff too, not just on Jack Eichel, but Dougie Hamilton, David Savard, a lot of trade or free agency rumors, very interestingly so. Now, Elliotte Friedman, I think, had I don't know how many interviews he had this morning, but there were so many quotes on different things throughout the NHL that I thought we might as well stream for tonight. I wasn't able to make a video today, but I thought, hey, might as well stream for like an hour, talk about some stuff. So how is it going, guys? Say hello in the chat. We got Payne coming in here first. Chris, what's up? We got Minka, always Hockey 34. Here is Logan, Kraz, the Big Shrek, Cheyenne. We got Boonday, Jams Collection, Mike Rossi. For the meals, we got Reeseway, Zach. We got Austin, Caden, Sharky 88, SMM, Colts, Crane, Jeff Devlinger. We got Bardown, Vespid. We got Tomas in here, Ryan Callahan. What is going on, y'all? 180 people in this chat. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and let's get into this, shall we? Let's get into this. So no, Jack Eichel's not gotten traded. It might actually be the opposite. Now let's go through this quote right now. From Freeman on the 31 Thoughts podcast, talking about Eichel and the New York Rangers. The Rangers and Sabres were just not close on the package, and the Sabres wanted the likes of Schneider or Lundqvist, and the Rangers didn't want to go there. The Sabres, wanted some of their young players that are already on the roster. So some big news, I think, coming with this Eichel and Rangers situation, because throughout this whole week, I'm like, okay, I'm still, even though it's not looking great, I'm still on the Eichel to the Rangers train, right? This, I think, pretty much debunks it. Unless the Sabres really lower their price, and I mean really lower their price, I'm just not sure about Eichel actually going to the Rangers now. I'm just not completely sure about it. And at this point, it just seems like there's a disconnect. And again, unless the Sabres drastically lower their price, this isn't looking good. Now, again, to go through the quote here, the Sabres wanted one of their young players that are already on the roster. I would assume this is like a Keandre Miller or like a Vitaly Kravtsov. Obviously, they'd want to have a guy like Kapelkak or Lafreniere, but I don't think that would be realistic. I would suspect they're mostly looking at a Keandre Miller or a Vitaly Kravtsov in terms of the young player that are already on the roster. And then again, you also have the quote here, which I thought was very interesting. The Sabres wanted the likes of Schneider or Lundqvist, and the Rangers didn't want to go there. Now, to me, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret this quote. To me, I think this means, okay, the Rangers had an offer on the table where it was like a first-round pick, like a Vitaly Kravtsov, let's say, and then the Rangers didn't want to also add on top Schneider or Lundqvist on the deal, which in my opinion is a mistake. I like Lundqvist, but if you're gonna make a deal for Jack Eichel, if he is perfectly healthy, which let's just assume that he is healthy and ready to go for next season, then you trade Lundqvist. That's what I personally think, and definitely a Braden Schneider. I mean, I think Schneider could be really good for the Rangers, but not budging on either of those guys, having an Eichel deal, unless Eichel is injured. But if he's not, I'm a little bit sad. But as somebody was asking earlier, is there any Habs news? It was reported by Elliotte Friedman that the Habs could be one of the sneaky teams on the Jack Eichel situation. But again, just like kind of the New York Rangers, they don't really want to bow down to the Sabres price. So from what it looks like right now, the Sabres aren't getting really what they want, which I think for me personally gives me the thought that we won't see a trade. Now, it was also said by Elliotte Friedman on the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota, I've heard they felt that the price is just too high. So definitely interesting. The Jack Eichel and the Buffalo Sabres are obviously keeping to their guns, not making a trade right now. And it seems like just a lot of teams right now, Minnesota, New York, maybe even Montreal, just feel like that price is too much, which we'll see if that continues, but not great for the people that want Jack Eichel to be traded. It looks like Buffalo, though, is keeping their guns, which they probably should, especially if he is healthy and ready to go. Oh, my goodness. E-Rich, dang, dude, you ever take a break? P.S. Hamilton needs to stay at the Canes. Well, E-Rich, I have something to show you. I have something to show you. We got 280 in this chat. Thank you so much, guys. Can we get some E-Rich hype, y'all? Can we get some E-Rich hype? Thank you so much, brother, for the 5 to start the live stream. My brothers, I appreciate that a ton. I'll say this though, I'll probably be live for about an hour and a half here at the very most. We'll see if we get anything else. But I wanted to run through because we have a ton of rumors on a ton of guys, not just Jack Eichel, but a lot of free agent rumors came out today from Elliot Freeman. So I'll go through a lot of this as we go. What is happening with Hamilton? Is he a devil? As of now, not yet, but I did want to show you guys something. So you guys were talking about Dougie, was talking about Dougie Hamilton staying in Carolina. Well, I have some bad news. Oh my gosh, there we go. Caden with a 2. Caden with a 2. Thank you so much, Caden. Mod hype. I've been here sub since 2 or 3 years. Really, Caden? That long? Hey, appreciate it so much, Caden. Can we get some Caden hype in the chat down below? Caden mod hype. Maybe. You know what? I can make another mod. I think. If we get to 44.6. So hit that subscribe button if you're new. If we get to 44.6 in this live stream, I'll make a new mod. How about that? And no problem 22. Kevin Adams is the worst GM in the league. I mean, honestly, I would rather have Kevin Adams with what he's done than Chris Jury so far. I mean, that Rasmus Carolina trade was really good. But thank you so much to the 2 MP. Appreciate it a ton. But again, with E-Rich, I have some bad news for you with Dougie Hamilton. So I want to share this thread right here by NHL Watcher from Elliot Freeman. Again, this is Elliot Freeman's words here. By the way, Wesley, hello, good to see you. This is Elliot Freeman's words on Dougie Hamilton. This thread is super interesting. We might know right now where Dougie Hamilton goes in free agency. So this comes from Elliot Freeman. From what I understand, Carolina's target area, at least at the beginning for Dougie Hamilton, was Torrey Krug, which is 7 years, $45 million. I don't think that's going to do it, and I think the one team that we are all kind of looking at is New Jersey. Now, let's scroll past this thread once again. Chicago's out of the picture, Philly's out of the picture, and I don't think that's what Seattle wants to do. I think they've had some interest. I think other teams like Montreal and Toronto have asked around, seeing if there was something creative they can do. And then the last quote here, the last tweet here, Elliot Freeman continues, the only place I really looked at that stands out to me is New Jersey. I think New Jersey wants to make a splash. I do. I'm thinking that Luke Hughes' reaction, that's worth something to that franchise. So as of right now, Elliot Freeman pretty much has New Jersey as the clear favorite for Dougie Hamilton. And again, he says that Philly is out, Chicago's out. I thought Philly could be maybe the front runner for them, but they went out after for him, but they already traded for Ristolainen and Ellis now, so that I guess fixes their defense in their eyes. So they've gone now, and now New Jersey could be the team. Oh my gosh, Kane, no, I thought you'd do subs every 1K, Nathan. It depends on the time of the channel, honestly. But honestly, we can do it right. We can do it when we hit 44.6. Totally. Thank you so much for the 2 though, Kane. Thank you so much for the 2. But again, Dougie Hamilton could be going to New Jersey. Super interesting there for the Devils. Alex, what's going on? Where's the Habs rumors? Raph, it was reported by Elliot Freeman that Montreal might be the only team to actually give up what Buffalo wants. Besides that, a lot of the teams we have seen in the Jack Eichel negotiations have been taken out. But one big thing about Montreal that I do need to showcase here is this. Guys, I said David Savard was going to Montreal, or could be going to Montreal, and I said that Dougie Hamilton, clear cut, would be the greatest choice for the New Jersey Devils. So far, not too bad. From Elliot Freeman as well from 31 Thoughts, I think David Savard, Montreal. Until I'm proven wrong on that one, I'm going David Savard in Montreal. So there you go. David Savard could be going to the Montreal Canadiens in free agency. And I think this makes a lot of sense, right? Obviously, Montreal's looking for their Shea Weber replacement. I think Savard's a lot different than Shea Weber, really. I mean, he's a much more defensive defenseman, and I don't know if that's exactly what Montreal needs, per se. I think Dougie Hamilton would have been almost a perfect fit for them. But I think if they do sign David Savard, I think that pretty much takes him out of the Dougie Hamilton sweepstakes. I mean, I think they weren't really in it, to be honest, unless they could have. I personally don't think Dougie Hamilton would have wanted to go to Canada unless it was for a team like Toronto, I think. But in Montreal, I mean, unless they offer him just so much, which honestly, if any team's going to offer him a lot, I thought it would be New Jersey, and apparently they're the one team that's super in on him. So I'm not really surprised by this. But let me know in the chat down below. How many years, how much AAV do you guys see David Savard getting in Montreal? Because I'm thinking, I mean, he's 30 years old. I'm thinking probably a 5-year deal, probably 6.5. I think would be most realistic. I mean, David Savard is one of the best defensive defensemen out there, and just won a Stanley Cup with Tampa as a big part of that decor. I think in Montreal, I mean, it's just a Montreal tax, right? You have to give it a little bit more, but I think 6.5 for 5 years could get it done. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Caden. Again, I want Hamilton, not Savard. He really sucks badly. Savard? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, in Tampa, I thought he was pretty great. In Columbus, I thought he was fantastic. He's just a defensive defenseman. He's not going to be your, like, the problem for me, and the problem I have with this for Montreal is that they're expecting David Savard to replace Shea Weber. They're going to be sad because he's not going to be that. He's going to be another defensive defenseman. Can move the puck all right, but you need a true puck mover. You need a true puck mover in Montreal, I think. And David Savard won't be that guy. So we'll see if Montreal makes another move on top of this. But I would agree. I mean, I would rather have in Montreal Dougie Hamilton, but David Savard, I think, could bring some major stability and could be maybe a presence addition that they're missing with now Shea Weber gone. So we'll see. But we got 670 people in this chat. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. If you guys are new, make sure that subscribe button. We are 10 subscribers away from 44.6, so every bit helps. Would love to have you in the Grab Gang. And let me know again what you guys think about David Savard. Do you see him landing in Montreal, another team perhaps? But there was so much by Elliot Freeman on this 31 Thoughts podcast. Again, another big quote. You know that someone said to me that they wouldn't be surprised if someone like LA makes a play for Phil Deneau. So maybe LA is the front runner for Phil Deneau in free agency, which would be interesting to me. I mean, they don't really have too many great centermen right now, besides Anze Kopitar, obviously. Phil Deneau could really solve that second line center spot. Oh my goodness. Oh, with the 549, Savard is solid, but I'd rather have a Hamilton. Yeah, that's pretty much the case as well for me, Owen. And Jermaine with the 7 Canadiens as well. The puck mover is peachy for the future and for the future Romanov. Yeah, we'll see. But, I mean, it depends on what Montreal's looking like, wanting to do right now. Because, I mean, maybe, I mean, that could be the case. I think if Montreal stays that way, if they keep Petrie and keep Romanov, I mean, I could see that being like the future plan. But if Montreal wants to contend, I think, for real next year, especially in that heavy Atlantic division, I think for them, they'd have to acquire another puck mover. But in the future, that would still be like Romanov would obviously be the most likely guy to get that. What's the Eichel updates? Massaro, I can go back to it. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Kane. 2, I want Montreal to get to Coleman, Hamilton, and Savard. That would be an unreal offseason for the Montreal Canadiens. Absolutely unreal. Now, the big Eichel update was not just this quote, but another one as well. The Rangers and Sabres were not close on a package. The Sabres wanted the likes of Schneider or Lundqvist, and the Rangers didn't want to go there. The Sabres wanted some of the top young players that are already on the roster. So again, a little bit of confirmation there. I mean, obviously, Buffalo wants a guy like Kako or wants a guy like Keandre Miller. I don't think they're going to get it, but we'll see if they budge. And then the other big update as well was about Minnesota, because we thought from Minnesota at least that Minnesota would be the front runner for Jack Eichel. That seems to not be the case anymore, as the price is too high for them. So we'll see what happens. But Minnesota might be out of the Jack Eichel sweepstakes. And honestly, the big update as well is that there might be just nobody in the Jack Eichel sweepstakes right now, honestly, or at least a big front runner at this point, because it just seems like nobody wants to pay that price. Not even Montreal, who's been reported to be in interest with him over this past week. Nobody wants to pay the price the Buffalo Sabres are asking for him, which I'm not really too surprised by, because even though it was reported the Sabres have dropped their price, I still think there's potential of teams just not wanting to get it done, especially with his health being in question. So it makes sense to me why that would be the case. But Buffalo, I mean, imagine Buffalo just keeps him and he's on the roster next year. How awkward that would be. Stonewall Gravity, you're so bad. I know. Thank you. So anyone else happy to not be oh my gosh, Korean Jesus, thank you so much for the $4. Absolutely appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. What do you think Montreal going to give up for Eichel? If Montreal does trade for Eichel, I don't think you're going to give up Caulfield or Suzuki. That's, I think, the two guys that you're not budging on if you're Montreal. Besides that, I mean, I'm not really sure if there's anybody that's untouchable besides those two guys. Maybe the closest untouchable to Caulfield and Suzuki would be Romanov, but I think for me, if I'm Buffalo, I'm asking for Romanov like as the main piece personally. And I'm not sure if Montreal's going to be willing to do that either. So we'll see what happens. Montreal's going to be an interesting team though, because they could end up being the team to actually go out and get him. Magma, my favorite team is the Dallas Stars. Hey, thank you so much, Adam, for subscribing. Absolute shout out your way, brother. Absolute shout out your way. Why is the draft thing still in the corner? Because I did not have the time to change it. I just got home, pretty much. If he doesn't get traded to a team that lets him get surgery soon, he's going to be on the IL all year and waste his talents. We'll see, Eddie. I mean, there was reports that Eichel's feeling much better right now. And of course, he didn't go through surgery, so maybe there's something as well on top of that. By the way, again, not just on, we've already gone through so much, but there's a lot here. That's what came from Elliot Freeman this morning on the 31 Thoughts podcast. He says that the Coyotes and Buffalo are going to be chasing that Shane Wright pick, short-term pain for long-term gain, which again, I find funny because Buffalo, it's been a long-term gain or long-term pain actually for them these past few years. But that really, I mean, that doesn't really surprise me either. Fred, thank you so much. Welcome to the Grav gang as well, man. But yeah, the Coyotes, the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, either one of those two franchises getting Shane Wright would be a wonderful. And if you're at number 2, Brad Lambert also would not be too bad either. Not be too bad either. What else was I trying to see here? Because there was a lot of interesting stuff. By the way, on Montreal and Jack Eichel, I get a lot of mixed feelings or mixed signals. I get people who say that they are in and people who say that Montreal determines that they don't want to go there. At the very least, they've talked to Buffalo about it, but I just don't know where that's going to go. So that was I was thinking that there was something else, and that was what it was. Apparently, Montreal might not even be the front runner for Eichel either way. And they've checked up on him, obviously, but it doesn't seem like they're another team that doesn't want to pay the price, which just like Minnesota, just like New York, seems to be a pretty big trend. Same thing with Anaheim, same thing with LA. Really, every team that has checked in on Jack Eichel has not traded for him or not even really expressed a serious interest. And that's kind of reminding me of Ron Francis in Seattle right now. I don't know about you guys, but obviously we heard reports that Ron Francis, in order to make a trade happen in the expansion draft, wanted a first and a third and not take a certain player or to take somebody else in terms of conditions. It kind of reminds me of that, where if Buffalo's going to have this situation, if he's not totally better and he's not 100% and he doesn't want to play there, this situation is just going to get worse. And they could be stuck in a Seattle situation right now where they're kind of left with not as many options as they had before. But we'll see. Again, all these teams have gone back on the Eichel camp and have expressed that it's too much. Hey, Greg, do you still think Vasi is overrated? No, I mean, pretty much since I made that video, he's gotten a lot more consistent, especially in the playoffs. Hey, Greg, any Vancouver news? Not too much, Dominic. Not too much. There was this quote by Elliot Freeman as well. I think Garland will be a big hit in Vancouver. For me, the whole deal is Ekman Larson and the whole Vancouver trade. That is about if we don't win next year, heads are rolling. So, yeah, I pretty much agree on that one, too. Oh, my gosh. A $15 Canadian donation. Thank you so much, Pratatui. I love what you're doing. I wanted to keep Ryan doing. You keep doing it. Hey, we're going to keep doing it, Pratatui. Thank you so much. Can we please get some hype in the chat for this, goats? My man, thank you so much. We got 1,000 people in here. Can we please get some Pratatui hype? What an elite stud. Something as well I saw earlier. Oh yeah, so this was funny. Man, Elliot Freeman had so many bombs this morning. I mean, he was not in his game this past week, but he had some really interesting stuff to say. On the 31 Thoughts podcast, talking about next Ovechkin contract and what it may look like. This is a guess, but 3 years, 10 million. Maybe 4 years, 10 million. 10 million for Alex Ovechkin, possibly with the next Ovechkin contract. And honestly, if I'm the Washington Capitals, I can see where they're coming from not signing him immediately right now. Because, I mean, how old is Ovechkin? He is, why does it not show? Oh, he's 34. So you could be paying Ovechkin 10 million when he's 39. Oh, I don't know if I love that. Do you think the Flyers will get another star player? I mean, it's going to be tough with that cap space. I think they shot themselves in the foot that way with the rest of the line and trade, but we'll see. I think it's still weird to me. I like the Atkinson deal for them, but another star player, I don't think so. I think they priced them out of those talks. Stevie Y is the GOAT. That is true. Yes, I did see that epic guy. That was another quote on by Elliot Freeman. So he was talking about Ryan Suter this morning. I think Dallas is in there big. I think Florida really wants him. I don't know how Florida is going to do with this all, but I think Florida really wants him, and we're still wondering about the Islanders. Come on, you know what? I would really like Ryan Suter in Dallas. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the chat down below. Where does Ryan Suter sign? Because apparently Freeman's saying Dallas, Florida, the Islanders. He was talking about, I think it was reported as well earlier that Boston would be in on him. And obviously the Islanders, I think, would be big on him as well. But if it's Dallas, man, you know what? I don't hate that if it's Dallas. I really don't hate that. It really depends on the contract. I don't want to go like more than 2 years really on him, but we'll see what happens. I still think he'd want a little bit of a payday here, so we'll see. But if it's anything more than like 2 years, $5 million, I think I might be a little bit hesitant, but we'll see. That's still a big leader and a big force in that defense, so we'll see. Gravy, you were Buffalo trading Eichel. Which team interests you the most? The LA Kings, easily. Like if you're able to get a Turcotte or a Brant Clark, obviously, not too bad. Just got on. What's the update for Eichel? A lot, Colin. A lot. So first things first, we had this tweet by NHL Watcher on Elliot Friedman, who said that again, Eichel and the Rangers, they're not close on a package. The Sabres wanted Schneider and Lundqvist, and they also want some of the top players on the roster. We also heard confirmation that the Minnesota Wild's price, they felt it was too high from the Buffalo Sabres, and then also the mixed signals on Montreal. So Montreal, Minnesota, and New York, all three teams who were pretty big on Eichel, apparently from Jaron Drager just a few days ago, have all kind of soured on the prospect of bringing him on with the price. So it seems like to me, again, I think the big Eichel news is that he's not going to get traded at this point. That's what I think. Is Jeff Jones good? If he gets back to his 2018 level, yes, absolutely. But these past 2 years have not been great. And some of that is Columbus, but Zach Werenski has also been pretty good in that time. So I think it's just a little bit of an interesting one. By the way, on the Ryan Suter thing, Elliot Friedman continued. I heard Colorado may not be able to do it, and I don't know about Boston. I heard they were around him, around there. Then I heard they weren't going to get him, but I know they like him. I just don't know. So Boston wants Suter, but apparently they don't want him. But Colorado may not be able to do it. Interesting there. So again, from what apparently from Elliot Friedman, Dallas, Florida, and potentially the Islanders are the three big teams on Ryan Suter. Night Raven, any Flames things lately? I haven't seen too much, honestly. The Flames have been one of the more quiet teams recently, which is weird because I think they could have gone for, I mean, there's so many teams that would have been a great fit for Reinhart. Panthers are definitely one of them, but it's pretty shocking we haven't heard anything about them on a guy like Reinhart or even Jack Eichel, really. Any new Minnesota or any more Minnesota news? Any news on other centers Minnesota's trying to acquire? I haven't heard too much besides Jack Eichel, Ian, from what I've seen. By the way, we got 1,100 people in this chat. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. Join the Gragging if you haven't. Would love to have you. Oh, my goodness. New tweet by Eric Engels right as we're streaming here on Jack Eichel and the Montreal Canadiens. I know there's been a lot of buzz about Montreal and Jack Eichel. I've got friends asking me every hour about it. I believe the Canadiens have poked around, but have not been told they're heavily invested in acquiring him. Things can change fast, as always, but not sure they will. So, apparently, the Canadiens have sniffed around, have poked around, but are not heavily invested in acquiring him. Super interesting there. So, again, all that I've heard on Jack Eichel these past 2 days has just been teams not wanting to get him, teams not wanting to trade the price for him. And if I'm Buffalo, I don't know how you don't release his medical records and expect to get all the stuff that they want to get. That, to me, is the biggest concern, is that if Buffalo's not going to give his medical records out, how do you expect teams to be comfortable trading for him? And that, to me, is one of the biggest things. That's not just the price, but it's also that. So to me, Buffalo's just making some major mistakes here. They already traded for Reinhart, or they already traded Reinhart for pennies on the dollar, and now they're just handling this whole Eichel negotiation so weirdly. And again, you would think if they knew Eichel was if they knew that Eichel was injured or not good enough, you would think that they would already have taken an offer, because especially if New York's gonna give like 3 first-round picks. They would have taken an offer like that if Eichel's not healthy, if he's not ready to go. But obviously, New York wouldn't make that deal officially until they know. So that is also another thing to keep an eye on. Night Raven, thank you so much for subscribing. And Cato with the 2, Gourde, Paling, Harris, next 2 first-rounders for Eichel. Interesting. I mean, 2 first-rounders, we'll see. That maybe could get it done, and as well as Gourde and Paling. Where will Keith Yandel sign? Aiden, it was reported that Boston is the big front-runner for him right now. Hey, McLaren, what's going on? Any news on San Jose? I haven't really seen too much. Oh my goodness, Jason with a 10! Oh my gosh. Absolutely appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Can we get some Jason love in the chat, y'all? Absolutely appreciate it, man. Absolutely appreciate it. Strange way of wheeling and dealing from Sabres on Eichel. Absolutely, Nicholas. Absolutely. I can't see a Montreal trade not involving a Caulfield or Suzuki. I think those are the two guys, Gabe, that there's no way that Montreal trades. And that might be why we haven't seen Montreal really serious on him. Maybe that's why. But we'll see. Do you think the Leafs might go for Matthew Tkachuk? I mean, if they could, they would. I don't think the Flames would trade him to Toronto, though. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Daniel, for subscribing. Welcome to the Grab Gang. Thank you so much for giving this channel a chance. Guys, of course, if you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, big news here on Montreal and Jack Eichel. We'll see what happens. Jets news, I haven't seen too much, y'all. And again, you would think that they would go after David Savard, but it seems like there's been nothing yet. By the way, I forgot to put this on the screen, but this was pretty interesting to me because David Pagnotta released like a bunch of targets and a bunch of guys that could be traded in this next little bit. I'll pull this article up here so you guys can see it. But this is coming from David Pagnotta of the fourth period, of course. Busy draft could lead to busy week with Jack Eichel on the thumbnail. Let me go through it. So the first things first that he actually ended up sharing with us was that the Sharks, of course, we already knew it a little bit, but the Sharks listing on Meyer. An interesting tidbit as well. The San Jose Sharks have taken calls on winger Timo Meyer. Whispers of his availability got louder over the NHL draft, and there was some belief they were willing to move him for a high first-round pick. Clearly that didn't happen, but he's still believed to be available. So very interesting there on Timo Meyer, a guy that the Sharks, we knew that were shopping, and there was Kevin Weeks saying that the New Jersey Devils and the Sharks could be in on something. That was probably the thing, and I don't think the Devils wanted to trade that fourth overall pick, and they selected Luke Hughes instead. By the way, as well, the active Habs looking for a defenseman. The Montreal Canadiens are trying to find somebody to step into Shea Weber's spot in the lineup. You won't be able to replace him, but the Habs are going to be fishing for a right-shot defenseman. Two pending free agents they will be on are Dougie Hamilton and David Savard. I reported earlier in the week that Montreal has already kicked tires on Hamilton, who has given permission to speak with other teams at July 28th, but I'm not sure if that'll give him I'm not sure if they'll give him between 7 million or 8 million per season on a long-term contract, even if that would be a swap of Weber's deal. The Habs had interest in Savard before the Lightning acquired him mid-season, and I expect them to circle back this week once the free agent door swings open. Both players are on the radar of a lot of teams, including New Jersey and Colorado. Guys, New Jersey, I still think Dougie Hamilton's going to be a Devil. I still think it's going to happen. New Jersey's been linked to Hamilton just so much. By the way, very interesting. Oh my goodness, Chuck with a 5. Any rumors on the Kraken trades or signings? Now that you mention it, Chuck, I haven't seen anything. From the Kraken, which is so puzzling for me. So puzzling. And also, Kane with a 2 as well. Will we be live on Free Agency Day? Of course we will, Kane. Of course we will. I don't know how long we'll be live. Probably a few hours at least. Daniel with a 5 as well. Appreciate the coverage, bro. Underrated channel for sure. Daniel, you a goat. You a goat. Thank you so much, man. Big time shout out. Big time shout out. Oh, Tyler 2. And oh my... Tyler with the 2 and JC with the 10. Why won't New York give up any prospects for Jack? Help me. Unless they know something we don't, with it, which when it comes to Jack's health, maybe there's something there. But if, as I said before, if it's Braden Schneider holding up a trade, you shouldn't have that happen. Trade Braden Schneider if you're going to get a healthy Jack Eichel. Who do you think Jack Eichel's going to end up with? If Buffalo releases his medical records, he's going to be a New York Ranger. That's my feeling right now, Justin, still. But Jason with a 10 Canadian, anything about the Leafs news? We've heard a little bit, Jason. Not a ton on the Leafs. Now, we do know, most likely, that the Leafs will mostly be running it back with the same fundamental core. Now, we heard from Elliot Friedman that the Leafs have kicked tires on Dougie Hamilton. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much. They've kicked tires on Dougie Hamilton. We don't know if they're actually going to go after him for sure. But we do know that they're interested, which obviously makes sense. But when it comes to the Leafs, they've been fairly quiet so far, which I'm not really too sure about. They might be one of those teams that is more into free agency than others. Kraken will end last if they don't upgrade that team. 100% Momo. I mean, this team right now is not good enough. Not good enough. Good day for you today? Yes, Dave, it's been pretty good. I've been resting as much as I could. Alistair, what's up, Grab? What did I miss? A little bit, Alistair. We went through some Jack Eichel stuff. Potentially Minnesota, Montreal, and the New York Rangers just not liking the price tag by the Buffalo Sabres and could be out of the negotiations. A little bit of stuff on Dougie Hamilton, New Jersey being the front runner for him so far. Ryan Suter, the big options for him, Dallas, Florida, and potentially the New York Islanders. By the way, something as well, the Devils exploring the goalie market. Devils has been actively looking around the NHL for a veteran goaltender to add to their roster to push or split the duties with Mackenzie Blackwood. There have been some... Whoa! Okay, so again, I went into this article blind. Devils spoke with the Vegas Golden Knights about Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Lehner, and the Canucks about Braden Holtby. Imagine the Devils get Fleury. That would be just insane. That would just be insane. And again, this coming from David Pagnota, by the way, guys. My understanding is Fleury isn't going anywhere. Leonard, I'm not entirely sure, but I would be a little bit surprised. Teams, including the Devils, would like Vancouver to retain a little bit of the final year of Holtby's contract. We'll see if New Jersey and another team could pull it off. Thank you so much, JFH. And also... The flower fiend. Welcome to the Grounding. Thank you so much for giving this channel a chance. And of course, guys, if you guys are coming here for the first time, we do streams like this all the time, trying to fill you up on the newest news, the newest rumors, and everything. So subscribe if you haven't, and turn notifications to get notified when we go live, because a lot of key stuff has happened tonight and will happen in the future. Now, again, it's pretty much I've seen so far the kind of motto by a lot of analysts so far, predicting that these next couple of days might be a little bit quiet, but after that, in the 27th to 28th, once free agency starts or is close to starting, we could see a lot of movement. What about Eichel to the Hawks? You send Strome, Lucas Reichel, P.S. Suter, and some defensive props for the Sabres for Eichel. The Hawks get their number one defenseman, now number one center. For me, the biggest problem is how are you gonna afford that fast hockey ice? I mean, you already got Seth Jones locked up now. I think that pretty much takes him out of the sweepstakes for Eichel personally. I think they price themselves out, just kind of like some other teams as well. Any Montreal news? Amrick, they might be the front runner for David Hamilton, and they're also trying to potentially see what they can do with Dougie Hamilton too. So some big options there in the defense with Montreal. And let's say they do sign Dougie Hamilton and Savard. That would be a pretty good offseason for Montreal to get their major puck-moving defenseman and also a big-time shutdown guy. Definitely adding to the presence lost in Shea Weber. And Caden with a 3 Canadian now. Thank you so much for the 3, brother. I might go to Seattle to watch the Habs on the 26th. Caden, I just gotta say, that is a massive flex. Imagine going to Seattle to see the Habs. That'd be amazing, Caden. Send me pictures if you do. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. David Hamilton. Well, I haven't said anything like that in a long time. It was about time. What did I do in the World Juniors last year? Didn't I say Swinland? I'm pretty sure I said Swinland. I had a great streak going, guys. It's all over. I knew when I was saying that, I'm like, did I say something weird? And I guess I did. Thank you so much, Alexander, for subscribing. David Hamilton, great addition there for the Montreal Canadiens. Okay, let's move on to that bad talking ability by me. And again, guys, if you're just coming in here, there have been a lot of buzz about Montreal and Jack Eichel. I got friends asking me every hour about it. I believe the Canadiens have poked around, but have not been told they're heavily invested and interested in him. So again, Montreal, another team that could be out of the Jack Eichel sweepstakes for now. Let me see if there's anything else, by the way, here, because I believe there's still some more. Oh my gosh. Oh, with a 549. Absolutely amazing. This year's goal is to go to the Bell Center. Oh my goodness. Nah, going to the Bell Center for a game is on my bucket list. It's on my bucket list for sure. Thank you so much for the 549, Owen. That's definitely a good that's a good goal. Oh, let me see here. Freeman as well on the 31 Thoughts podcast says Chuck Fletcher has backed his coaching staff for the moves he's made. He's saying it's not on them, it's on the players, and we need to change the mix. Adds Atkinson, Ellis, and Ristolainen have great reputations for being demanding but caring teammates. Interesting there as well. Also, I saw this. This was the big thing I was looking for here by Elliot Friedman. He says Seth Jones was willing to sign long-term with 3 teams: Colorado, Dallas, and Chicago. Colorado were okay with 1 year of Jones, but couldn't commit long-term. Dallas didn't want to move a roster player to fit Jones in, and they weren't willing to pay Jones more than Heiskanen. So I saw this earlier, and this was one of my, oh man, I am so happy. Man, what a week by Jim Nill. What a week by Jim Nill. I mean, I don't love that they were in him on the first place, unless they're going to trade him for a 7th round pick. But I did not want to pay him more than Heiskanen. That is exactly what you should be doing, Jim. I appreciate it. And Jones, as far as his play these past couple of years, doesn't deserve more than Heiskanen. You love to see it, though. You love to see it. That I love by Jim Nill. That I love. I'm Gonzo Grinch. No. We'll see you later, though. We'll see you later. What's the update on Eichel? Francis, we saw quite a bit from Elliot Freeman on 31 Thoughts. He said that the Rangers and the Sabres were not close in the package. The Sabres want the likes of Schneider and Lundqvist, and the Rangers did not want to go there. And the Sabres want a young player or young players on the roster, as well as Freeman saying Minnesota is just not wanting that price. And Eric Engels as well filling us in, saying that the Montreal Canadiens have sniffed around for Jack Eichel, but are not heavily interested in acquiring him. Now, again, adding on top of this, oh my goodness, Caden. Go to the Bell Center on Saturday. Oh my goodness, I bet. That was, on Saturday night. That, you know what, if I'm going to go to the Bell Center, I might as well do that. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Thank you so much, Caden. Thank you so much. But on top of Montreal, the Rangers, and the Wild just not really wanting to bow down to the Sabres' price here, you already had confirmation of the Ducks not wanting to pay the price. The Kings have been out for a while now. I mean, even Vegas. We heard Vegas as a potential option, but they've been quiet for about a month now. So for me and what I'm seeing right now, it seems like everybody that's in that or that has checked in on Jack Eichel just ends up turning away just moments later. And I don't know. I mean, for Buffalo, for me, it definitely depends. Definitely depends on the situation. If Jack Eichel is healthy and ready to go, then I think Buffalo not bowing down to the demands of other teams is good. But if he's not, and Buffalo is withholding his medical records because they know it's not looking good, and they don't want to do any of it, and they still aren't making a trade happen, that to me is an absolute mistake. I have belief in this in the Sabres making the right decision there. I know it's crazy. I believe in the Sabres, but we'll have to see what happens, because this could be very, very interesting. Hey, Grab, weird question. We know of 2 of the Rangers assistant coaches. Has there been any news on the 3rd? I don't think so, Alan. I haven't seen anything in a while. Go to the Bell Center when the Habs lose in the playoffs. What does Montreal have to give up in an Eichel trade? I think you're looking at least Romanov, which I think is, for Montreal, one of the reasons why they're probably out of it right now. By the way, guys, if you have not subscribed already, make sure you do so. And let me know, where do you guys think Jack Eichel actually ends up? If Jack Eichel's medical records do actually get released by Buffalo, I do think New York Rangers are still the favorite for him. But as of right now, like, I don't even know what the favorite would be for him, if anybody. Because again, all the favorites are pretty much gone right now. Anaheim, Vegas, LA, New York Rangers. You now have the Wild not wanting to pay the price. The Habs not wanting to pay the price. Oh my goodness, Marcus, Mika, C, Benajad, Mika's a good Chad, Mika, Captain Chad. Is that reported right now, Marcus? I mean, I still love Mika with the C. I just don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get my hopes up that it's like, it's going to be like, they're going to make Brandon Smith the C and then just release him to free agency a week later. That's pretty much how I see it. Caulfield isn't even close to being better than Eichel. What blasphemy. I mean, for me, if you're Montreal, the 2 untouchables are Caulfield and Suzuki. That's just how I see it. If the price is right, I would trade Romanov. If Eichel is healthy and Buffalo wants him, I could trade Romanov. But I don't know if I'd want to trade Suzuki especially. Caulfield maybe, but I think if I'm trading Caulfield, I'd want salary retained on the Eichel deal. Brain as well, the 2, is he going to put up points after being injured? I mean, really, it all depends on that health, Brain, which might be another reason why these teams haven't been too excited to go after him. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on. I think for the Jack Eichel situation, though, if he's not ready to go next year, I don't even know how much he plays, really. I mean, He's going to play every day. I don't know if his neck's still bothering him. ND Senators news, are they looking for a top 6 center? They have been, Van City. They were reported to go after Ryan Strome around the draft week, but that did not happen, or it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, they are looking for a centerman. I think they're being a little bit patient, though. Oh my goodness, Daytona, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the Grab Gang. But again, a lot of new rumors over the past day. A lot of them coming from Elliot Freeman. But again, David Savard could be going to Montreal Canadiens. Dougie Hamilton, most likely the frontrunner is the New Jersey Devils. We have also heard reports of Ryan Suter maybe going to Dallas. A lot of stuff to talk about here. What happens if Kaprizov doesn't sign before free agency? Does he become a free agent? Because I know he can't be qualified as an RFA. No, I think he just stays an RFA. That can't be offer sheeted. You guys do know that draft picks can be bust. Even first overall, Lafreniere gives a week's soft week effort. I'd rather have Boldy or Turcotte. Charlie, people call me biased towards Americans. Lafreniere will be just fine. He'll be just fine. Freedom, thank you so much for subscribing. And also, Scott, welcome to the Grab Gang. But let me know in the chat down below, what for your favorite NHL team, what would you guys pay for Jack Eichel? If he's healthy. That's, I think, the big thing. Do you see Mario go to the Devils? I think it'd be a great fit, Berchi. I mean, him alongside Nico Hischier. I mean, I got my Nico Hischier jersey right here. I think it'd be a great addition. But well, I don't know what the price would be, especially because San Jose reportedly wanted a high first-round pick for him, and I doubt the 4th overall pick was in play really too long for New Jersey. Hey, Connor with a 3. Let's go, Buffalo. Thank you so much, Connor. You goat. Absolute shout out. Hey, good luck to the Sabres throughout all this. I thought the Ristolainen trade was fantastic for them. Hopefully they expand upon that. We'll see what happens in the Eichel negotiations. Eichel goes to Bell Center on the Saturday nights. How about the Leafs for Hamilton? Apparently the Leafs have looked into Hamilton, John, but haven't been like too invested in getting after him. Would the Caps trade Wilson? Love to see him in a Hawk sweater. I doubt it, honestly, but I mean, there's at this point, if they weren't going to trade him, I don't think they would ever trade him, honestly. What happens are, Bud Adams has been saying he wants Eichel to stay. I mean, I think any Sabres fan would love Eichel to stay and be fine, but we'll see if that continues. And Marcus with another 20 because his deserves 50. It's only a game. Marcus. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay, wait just a second. Wait just a second. 50 million a year? I think he's really good. But number 1 center in the league, I'm not sure about that, Marcus. Not sure about that. But I mean, I would like them to sign for $1 million in New York. I mean, that would be pretty good for me personally. Thank you so much though, Marcus. Gonna get some Marcus hype. What news for Eichel at Montreal? Jules, we saw a big tweet coming from Eric Engels, if you haven't seen it already. But there was a tweet here. I know there's been a lot of buzz with Montreal about Eichel. The Canadiens have poked around, but they're not heavily interested in him. Things can always change, but I'm not sure they will. So Eric Engels saying that Montreal's poked around, not heavily interested, but they might not ever be, really, which I think is interesting. I'll give it first, a third, and maybe younger guy who thought to have a lot of upside but is unknown. For Eichel, here's the thing for me. Jack Eichel, healthy, is a top 10 center. He's a top 10 center. If I'm like Montreal and I'm looking at healthy Jack Eichel, and let's say there's even like a little bit retained, maybe there's like 1 million retained, I give up a first round pick. Well, actually, let me just look at Montreal's let me look at Montreal's depth chart right now. I would give a first round pick. I would give a guy like almost any roster player besides Suzuki, Caulfield. I mean, Romanov I would love to still have Eichel, but let's say Romanov is like the big thing that Buffalo wants, which could be the case maybe. Let's say Romanov is the big thing that Buffalo wants. I still might give it to him. You could have a top 2 center core of Eichel and Suzuki. And when Suzuki's in his prime, that could be the best in the league, besides McDavid and Draisaitl. I don't know. And you could go from having centers. Well, the centers have already been a little bit fixed in terms of the weaknesses for Montreal, even with Deneau leaving. But still, you could have one of the best center cores in the entire league, and you could have. I mean, Kotkaniemi, let's be honest, would be a part of that deal too. But I would say realistically, you're probably giving up Romanov if Eichel is healthy. So let's say Romanov, probably a 2022 first. And I'm thinking probably on top of that, probably like a smaller prospect. Because I think Romanov would be really, really solid in Buffalo. Probably a guy like that would be tough. Oh my gosh. Bring the 5. I don't think Buffalo wants to trade in the same division. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And I think that's probably one of the big things that I think might keep Montreal back. We'll see though. Good point though, for sure. Any news of the Wild? Trades, FA news. We saw earlier by Elliot Freeman saying that Minnesota was circling in on Jack Eichel. Let me find it here. Yeah, Minnesota, I've heard they felt that the price is just too high. So Minnesota has bid on Jack Eichel, but they think the price is too much. So I'm willing to bet Buffalo's asking at this point for Marco Rossi a first and Jesper Wallstedt kind of prospect, which, depending on himself, would be too much. We'll see though. Oh my goodness, and Connor with the 3. As a Buffalo fan, I don't think they if they don't give us Suzuki, no deal. Then no deal then, Connor. I think Montreal, like, you might be able to get rid of, might be able to get Caulfield, maybe, but if you're, I think for the Montreal Canadiens, I mean, I don't think there's no, I mean, you might as well just let him go somewhere else. Like, there's no real point in my opinion, trading Suzuki in an Eichel deal. Now, the point is getting those top 2 centers that you can have dominate on the top 2 lines in the future. Which for Buffalo, if they don't want to have that happen, they can just trade him somewhere else. Which, with what we've heard so far, there might not be another place. I'd throw $9 million plus on Hamilton for 6 years. I think the most I'd be willing to go for Hamilton would be 9.5, but that's still quite a bit for me. It depends on how many years though, for sure. Like if it's 6 years, like if you get him at 8.5 or 9, I'd be fine with that, I think. Especially in the right system. Like if you need an offensive defenseman, Dougie Hamilton is one of the best out there. But also, I'm not sure if he deserves more than Alex Pietrangelo, for instance. Well, Eichel to the Oilers for Mike Smith. I like that deal, Ulf. I like that deal. Drouin and Byron for Eichel and Power. Rangers need a better deal than Minnesota. Rangers aren't going to budge because of his neck. Yeah, we'll see, Christos. We'll see what the health indicates here. It's gonna be interesting. Well, under the radar free agent could the Flyers possibly make a run for? Chuck Fletcher said he wouldn't mind adding another defenseman. Well, if they want to add another defenseman here, then they have options. Looking at the free agents, I mean, with Nicholas Hjalmarsson retired too, it makes it even more difficult. Man, I mean, David Savard, I think, is going to get so much this free agency. Like, the defensive defenseman market is just bare besides him. I mean, I don't really consider Alec Martinez a pure defensive defenseman. But, like, besides him, like, your best option is, like, Derek Forbort and Jordy Ben. Yeah, not the greatest options for the Flyers. I think he's a depth guy, though. Oh my goodness, no, the 5 as well. As a Ducks fan, I give up a game-used Timo Jofa and future considerations. Road to get grabbed to the Bell Center starts now. Hey, no, and I appreciate it. It'll be added to the fund. But honestly, good deal for the Sabres. I mean, a Timo Jofa, that thing's priceless. That thing's gonna be worth more than Eichel's contract in like 50 years. Bet. Liam Bennett as well, the 4 Canadian grabbing into Habs news besides the Savard rumors. They've been circling in on Hamilton, but it doesn't seem like it's too much of a fit for them right now. And again, besides that, you have Jack Eichel's whole thing, which it seems like Montreal just does not want to do right now. So we'll see what else they do, Liam, but they still got a lot of options with their cap space. You think Carson Soucy would be a good trade candidate for the Rangers? I think so for sure, Nicholas. I would love Soucy on the Rangers, especially as a bottom pairing D-man. Like, he's the exact type of guy I think that Drury should go for. If you want to get a more grittier two-way guy, I would love that addition. What are the current Devils news for the offseason? Right now, Dougie Hamilton, New Jersey might be the favorite for him. That's the most I've heard, though, from New Jersey. I mean, maybe we'll see a Timo Meier trade, but it doesn't look like. So I think because it didn't happen at the NHL draft, I don't know if it'll happen this offseason. By the way, let me know in the chat down below, because we have free agency starting here in 3 days. Let me know in the chat down below for you guys, though. What big player do you guys see being traded in the next couple months before the season starts, besides Jack Eichel? Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm so confused. Why wouldn't you give Vitaly Kravtsov for Eichel? I would, personally. Could the next two 2022 first, 2022 3 second, Henrik, Sam Steele, or Max Jones, and Lucas Dostal? I think you might still have to add another first on top of that, like a at this point, like a Troy Terry, or like a caliber prospect, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like I think for Buffalo, what they're looking at right now, I think from what I've heard, they're trying to go for quality over quantity. And I think for Anaheim, those are one of those tough teams where they have a lot more quantity than true. Oh my goodness. Sabres defense, welcome to the Grab Gang stud membership level. Appreciate it a ton. Can we get some Sabres defense hype in the chat down below? Hey, appreciate it, big man. Hopefully the defense for the Sabres looks a lot better this next season. Let's hope. Thank you so much, though. Can we get some Sabres defense hype in the chat, y'all? Absolutely appreciate it, man. Absolutely appreciate it. Where do you think Martinez lands? I'm still thinking, honestly, Boston. Like, I think it's just a perfect fit for him. I think in either Boston or Colorado, or even, I mean, imagine it, Martinez in Montreal. I mean, we haven't heard that much about Montreal and Hamilton, but he's a lefty. He could be your number one. He would be your number one lefty. Maybe Alec Martinez is the guy and not Dougie Hamilton. Now, I'm not sure if Hamilton wants to be in Montreal, but if you set him to like a 2 or 3 year deal, I think that could work, especially if you're already signing David Savard. Like, let's go through this. If they sign Savard and Alec Martinez, so Savard is what? Savard is a right D. Okay, yes. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's go for the Canadiens defense. Oh my goodness, Kyle Johnson with 5. You beauty. If you were starting a team today, who would you rather have, Eichel or Barzal? Same age, and Barzal's much better skater and more upside offensively. If both are healthy, and I'm starting a team, this is tough. Now, I want to know the details of this, Kyle. I don't know. Maybe you could put in the chat. Like, is this an expansion team? Like, is this a bad? Like, am I just starting with nothing else? Because if I'm starting with nothing else, I'd take Eichel. But if I have some stuff around me, if I have like a decent defense or some good wingers, I'd probably take Barzal. I think Eichel is a better like bad team player. Where Barzal, I think, could be a better good team player, if that makes any sense. I don't know. That's interesting to me. I would probably go Eichel if healthy, but that's an interesting choice. Let me know in the chat, Barzal or Eichel, starting off a franchise, who would you take? And again, I think just as a bad team player, I think Eichel, if not disgruntled, would not be too bad. So I was going to say, let's go over the Habs defense if they sign Savard and Martinez. So you're probably paying about $12 million at least for those two guys combined. So let's go through it. So you would have obviously Shea Weber on LTIR. You had Jeff Petrie as your number 1D. I don't know if you'd have Petrie with Martinez. I don't know if you'd have both of your puck movers together. You'd probably have Ben Sherratt and Petrie as your first pair, but you could have Savard and Martinez as your second pair. Then you could have Edmondson as your lefty and Romanov as your right D. That's not bad. And especially if Romanov takes that next step, that could be one of the better defenses in the NHL. That could be interesting. Now, we know that Savard will likely be a Canadian, so that gives them more options. But if you get Martinez, if you get somebody on that left side that can move the puck so extraordinarily well, the only thing on that left side you're missing is puck moving. I mean, you got Edmonds and Sherratt, really. I mean, Kulak is a good puck mover, but he's not like an elite level or anything. Oh, Sarah with the 2. I'm hoping Blues get Landeskog and trade Tarasenko. Yeah, I mean, Landeskog would be a really interesting fit for the Blues. Tarasenko, though, doesn't look like he'll get traded, so we'll see what happens. From what Armstrong was saying, it seemed like they're just going to keep him, which super interesting news there. By the way, guys, we are right now, I don't even know if this is real, but we're right now at 44,699 subscribers. Thank you for so much of the new subs coming in. And if you are new, we are one subscriber away from 44.7. So hit that subscribe button for daily hockey content. If you're enjoying the stream so far, we would love to have you. Romanov is a puck moving D, yes. But I'm talking about on the left side. Romanov would probably play on the right if you have Edmondson on that left side bottom pair. That's what I was saying. Oh, wait a second. Weed. Weed, thank you so much for coming. And also, Jack, welcome to the Grab Gang. And Kid with a 5 is a Habs GM. I would trade Duran for no cap, only draft picks, then sign to no, and let Tatar go, sign Coleman and Hoffman and Martinez. Interesting. Well, the thing is, I think for the Habs game, it doesn't even seem like Dano wants to stay in Montreal. As sad as it sounds, it doesn't even seem like he wants to stay in Montreal. But let go Tatar, I would probably do the same as well. It just doesn't seem like he has a fit right now. Hoffman will be an interesting ad. I think for me, Coleman is a lot more enticing for the Habs. I think he plays a lot more of their style game. But imagine you get like the perfect offseason is signing Martinez, Savard, Carey, and Jeremy. Thank you so much for subscribing. But signing Savard, Coleman, and Martinez, that to me is perfection. Now you probably want to get another center as well to get that third line spot probably. Hey Phil, thank you so much. I mean, you've been here for a while. Did you just subscribe 20 minutes ago? Appreciate it either way, brother. Appreciate it either way. Let me see. Montreal doesn't need any lefty. I mean, they don't need a lefty, but you would have as your lefty Sherratt, Edmondson, and Kulak if you're not going to re-sign Merrill. I mean, that's okay. Like it's all right, but it's not like really good. Which if you're adding Martinez, which I think is the missing piece, I still think even if you sign Savard, you're missing another great puck mover because Jeff Petrie can't do it all by himself. Like he's just not going to do it all by himself, and I don't think he should do it all by himself. But if you have Martinez, that defense goes from so it's okay, like it's all right, to one of the best in the NHL, I think. And you know, with Shea Weber being gone, to add some extra cap space, I think they should go for it. If you can sign Martinez to like $7 million or 7.5, I think you should. He was worth that this past season, more for the Vegas Golden Knights actually. Do you see this happening? Schmidt and Holtby for DeBrusque? No, I don't think so. I don't think Boston would really want Holtby personally. What do you think about the Habs going after Chychrun? As we've heard so far of Arizona, the only untouchable player on that team is Chychrun, so I kind of doubt it. We were talking about Eichel and potentially giving up Suzuki. You would have to give up like a Caulfield for Chychrun, I think, from Arizona. Like they value him heavily. Tomas Hertl of the Wild. I've heard some speculation about that, Mason. I don't know if it's actually like a reported thing. That could be very interesting. New Jersey should get Kulikov back and Ryan Murray after they miss all this big fish. I mean, we'll see if they miss all the big fish, Benjamin. We'll see. Dougie Hamilton, it could be the guy, though, for them. Savard will be in Winnipeg. Just watch. I think Winnipeg's a great spot, but they didn't trade for him last year. I'm hoping they do, though, because that'd be a great fit. And Jonathan with the 5 Canadian. Why does Boston try to pick up in free agency? Maybe a goalie to take some load off Swayman or some defense. Yeah, goalie would definitely be up there, I think, for them, Jonathan. I mean, defensively, I think Alec Martinez is also a great fit for them next year. But I think when it comes to Boston, yeah, definitely that goaltending is going to be really interesting. Especially, I mean, if Tuukka Rask retires, you're gonna have a little bit of a weird goaltending spot there. Tyson Barrie, the Habs, no. You do not want Tyson Barrie. Trust me, you do not want Tyson Barrie. Unless you can just shield him from any defensive pressure. Kano with the 2 of you were the Habs GM. What would you do? What would you all do? Yeah, for me, if you can sign these guys, I'd sign Savard, 5 years, $6 million. Martinez, Realistically, and also I would want to get him at probably 2 or 3 years, let's say 3 years at 7 million. I would also pinpoint Blake Coleman as a big target, but he's a maybe. But Blake Coleman, if you can't re-sign to no, if you can get him for like 4 years, 5 million, that'd be, I think, a pretty good deal. Now you'd still have after that about 12 million in cap space, so you still have a decent chunk of change. So I think for Montreal, there's options. There's definitely options, and that's a really big thing. Oh my goodness. Christian with a 6-9-9. Appreciate it. The Habs get Voracek, Martinez, Savard, and maybe Eichel. Even without Eichel, it's solid. Oh yeah, definitely Christian. If they get Martinez, Savard, and Dvorak, I mean, Dvorak's an interesting piece. That could definitely be an interesting guy as like an underrated center, a center addition. He would be, I think, a really solid just second line option. Now, Sam Reinhart would be also cool, but I guess the Sabres didn't want to trade him to the division. But Dvorak would be a really solid option. Not like a perfect second line center, but he's good enough. And if I'm Montreal, I'm making sure at least that Kotkaniemi is not the second line center, because I think thrusting him into that position might be a little bit too early, especially in the regular season. To me, gaming vids, I mean, that's what he's gonna get. That's what Savard's gonna get. That's what Savard's gonna get. Like, personally, that's what he's gonna get. He's one of the best. Like, especially, like, if you guys don't see Savard getting $6 million, I don't know what to tell you. He is the only defensive defenseman right now on the market that is even close to worth that. Especially with Hjalmarsson retiring and other guys coming off the market, he's gonna get paid $6 million. And he's worth, in my opinion, about 5, but in Montreal, you're also going to have to pay a little bit more because of the taxes and everything. I think that's just a part of the negotiations. And also Martinez for $7 million, you bet. He's one of the more underrated defensemen, and again, is one of the few defensemen that can really play in the free agent market. There's going to be a lot of teams with a lot of cap space, and Martinez at $7 million right now, Martinez is worth $7 million at this current moment. That's why I think as well the term really is going to be interesting, because he's 33. If he gets more than 3 years, it's not gonna be $7 million, obviously. But if it's a shorter term deal, like a 2 or 3 year deal, you're looking at probably 6.5, $7 million. And again, for Montreal, you have to pay more. That's just simply what you need to do. I mean, if you don't think you need to pay more to get guys in Montreal, you're not paying attention. Teams and players don't like taxes. They don't like playing in Canada. That's just the simple fact. So you got to pay him more, and I think that's what you need to do. Savard maybe less or so, but a guy like Martinez, a guy like Coleman, that's just how it has to happen. 4.5 tops? No way, Dom Vids. No way. I mean, who else could play who else can reliably play defense in the free agent market? I'm looking at the guys right now, like Jordy Ben, Patrick Nemeth. There's nobody else out there. And there's so many teams with cap space right now that are willing to spend big money. Savard's the best option, simply put, and far away is the best option. I mean, you saw what he did in Tampa, but he was doing that stuff in Columbus, just playing solid defense. And also, he's not even that bad outside of defense. He can move the puck decently well, and he can skate pretty solidly too. I don't know. I feel like he's the big, hot defenseman commodity, especially with Nicholas Hjalmarsson gone. I think Hjalmarsson being retired is going to make Savard's price a little bit bigger. Quinn Hughes will not be a Devil. Did anybody say he would be? I mean, it would be fun. It'd be fun, but I don't see it happening. My top 3 favorite teams are Dallas, Tampa, and the New York Rangers. Though the Habs and 4 max. You guys, if you guys think Savard's getting 4 tops, you're going to be so disappointed. You guys are going to be so disappointed. Dougie Hamilton's going to get an absolute payday. Martinez is going to get an absolute payday, and David Savard is. If you guys think Savard's going to get $4 million after coming off a Stanley Cup win on a top 4 role as a defensive defenseman, you're lying. You're kidding yourselves. It's not going to happen. I'm just letting you guys know, because I mean, whether it's in Montreal or not, he's getting more than $4 million. There's no way he doesn't. I mean, you guys. I mean, it's perfectly fine if you don't want to pay him that much. If you want to pay him $4 million, but I think he's gonna get more. If you want if you want to sign him for less, that's perfectly fine. But he's gonna get more than that. I don't think Dougie will make $10+ million, but he's gonna be in the 8 to 9 range. I mean, it's like looking at the cap space in terms of teams right now. I mean, there is more than like 80% or 70% of the league that has over 10 million right now. Philadelphia, LA, Montreal, New York Islanders, Calgary Flames, Blues, Coyotes, Bruins, Avalanche. Like, there's so many solid teams as well, like the Rangers, the Jets. the Canucks even. Okay, I'll say this as well. If you don't think Savard is going to get more than $4 million, Jim Benning is still an NHL GM, so watch out. Watch out. Coleman's worth for 3.5 mil. I don't think so. I think he's worth more than that. Probably like 4-ish, 4.5. I think he'll get more as well. Probably like 5.5 maybe. But it really depends on the term, I think, with Coleman too. Yeah, that as well as ZDP. I mean, we'll see how much of a pay cut he takes. I think for Montreal, though, I mean, I think in terms of like the guys I'm suggesting, like Savard, Martinez, Coleman, Savard is definitely the most likely to take a little bit less than market value, perhaps. Watch Hamilton get Dougie money. I doubt it, Jacob, but I think he's going to get around Pietrangelo. I think you're looking at a Pietrangelo type contract for Dougie Hamilton, which honestly, like, I don't think he's, I mean, in some ways, I think he might be better than Pietrangelo, but Pietrangelo was really solid this past season for Vegas, was great in the playoffs for them, and you saw like in that Montreal series, he was really the only guy that was consistently putting up effort. But you're probably looking at like the $8.59 million range, and Martinez is Pietrangelo is signed until 2027. I think you're looking at that same kind of deal, maybe a little bit less, maybe 8.5, but again, it really depends on the team, I think. Yeah, that's the same thing as well. Alexia got more than $4 million, so Savard at least $5 million. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Dakota. I mean, it's not even just those contracts, but it's the contracts when you sign. Alexiak is off the the Seattle Kraken. I think Montreal is going to be so mad at the Seattle Kraken. Obviously, they didn't take Carey Price, so that's good. But they're going to be so mad at Montreal because if Larson and Alexiak were on the market, Savard's not getting 6.5. It's not happening. But now that those two premier defensemen are off the market, he is going to be a hot commodity. It's going to happen. He's coming off a cup win for dang sakes. And he's 30 years old. He's still somewhat in the prime of his career. To me, I mean, that's what you're paying for him. And again, it really depends on the market. Someone might get desperate and give Dougie Hamilton $10 million. I mean, there's maybe a couple of teams out there that will be, the Hamilton's going to be another interesting guy. I mean, I want to give Hamilton $10 million, but again, I think there might be teams out there, like New Jersey, perhaps. Oh, and a 5 by Jonathan. Jim Benning always finds a way to surprise me, not in a good way. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty much what Jim Benning does. That's pretty much what Jim Benning does. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Can we get some Jonathan hype in the chat down below? Absolutely appreciated. Absolutely appreciated. What's happened so far? We talked about Jack Eichel being out of the sweepstakes for the Wild, the Rangers, the Habs, and a lot of other teams. Savard probably being the favorites of the Montreal Canadiens. The favorite for Dougie Hamilton probably being the New Jersey Devils. A lot of different stuff. Allegedly, Pellick is asking $7 million. What do you think about that? Personally, I think it's pretty fair. I mean, with the way Pellick has been playing this past couple of years, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, it depends on the term. If it's a long-term deal, I'd probably give it to him. But I don't know. It depends for the Islanders a lot. I think right now, though, he's worth that. Oh, and Tobias with $5, I think that translates in Norwegian. Thank you so much. What do you think about it? First at third, 2022, Zach Jones. Oh, my goodness. Sign me up, Tobias. That is such a good deal. That to me is an easy win for the Rangers. If you can make that happen, easy win. I mean, the biggest ask you're giving there is maybe the 2022 or the 2022 first, because, I mean, we'll see what the Rangers do next year, but yeah, I would easily do that. I mean, giving up Zach Jones would suck, but I think for Jack Eichel, if he's healthy, that's really solid, I think. Yes, Ethan, tomorrow's video will be a ranking of every single NHL prospect pool. Glad you asked. What is Hamilton's deal going to be? A long one. I think the biggest comparable, Josh, is Alex Pietrangelo, 8.8. I think it was it 8 years? Did they send him for 8 years or 7? It's something like that. But I don't know if Hamilton will get that much. I think it really depends on what Martinez and Barry go for. But I think Hamilton, I mean, as people were saying as well, I think some team could get desperate and sign him for 9+. Google Translate and look what a Subban is in Swedish. Horvat at $5 million is such a steal. That is true, Kid Javon. That is true. As a Rangers fan, the Seth Jones contract scares me, but then the Markar contract makes me feel better in terms of Fox's upcoming deal. I think honestly, I think it's pretty decent overall, Ryan. I think honestly, I don't think the Fox camp is going to look at the Jones contract really. I think the Makar contract is a lot more comparable. But it'll be interesting. I mean, basically what the Adam Fox camp can do is just say, hey, I just want a Norris trophy. Give me $12 million. I mean, that's well within the right. So I think Adam Fox is going to get paid. But I do think Makar is probably the most likely comparable for that. Taco, no Eichel trade yet, but again, is the updates we've seen so far are actually on the opposite side of the spectrum. Minnesota's out of the race right now. Montreal's out of the race. The Rangers are pretty much out of the race, and the update is that nobody could end up trading for Eichel, and he might just stay in Buffalo Sabre with the asking price that the Sabres have right now. Thank you so much as well, William, for subscribing. Big time shout out coming your way. Absolutely appreciated. Thank you so much, giving this channel a chance. What are your thoughts on Jack Eichel Habs chances? Well, Kotzer, Eric Engels said they were looking at him, and that is not going to happen most likely. His tweet here, where was it? Here it was. Again, the Canadiens have poked around, but I'm told they're not heavily invested in him. So I don't think the likelihood is that great, really. The Oilers should buy out Koskinen or Neal. I would agree with that, Dawson. Metro's the hardest. Yeah, looking at it right now, the Metro's going to be heck. I mean, all of the East is going to be bad. Even the Atlantic Division is looking pretty scary. Thank you so much, Ryan, for subscribing. Love to have you in the chat. Absolutely appreciated. Unless he does end up joining, I really want Gary Thorne back at it, commenting NHL games. 100% agree, Jacob. The best out there. The best out there. Grab, if the Devils can get a solid forward, Coleman, a solid backup goalie, and Dougie Hamilton, do they win the offseason? They can re-sign Coleman and get Hamilton. Not too bad, especially, and even a backup goalie. I mean, it would depend on the guy, but not. I would say this: they might not win the offseason. They'd be up there though, at the very least, definitely. Color McManus, what's going on, Color? Edmonton needed a top goalie. I'd agree with that. Watch Hamilton end up in Detroit, leaving Canes fans crying. Poor fans getting hammered by Yzerman. Honestly, you might as well do it, Yzerman. Make the full troll job. Yannick, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Great to have you in the crowd, gang, brother. And also, Drew, you beaut. Thank you so much. Can we get some Yannick hype and also some Drew hype? Absolutely appreciate you too. And as of right now, we have hit 44.7k subscribers. Absolutely insane. We're only 300 away from 45, which is just mind-blowing. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Thank you guys so much for the support over this past week. And again, tomorrow will be the prospect pool ranking, so I'm really excited about that one. I got some of the rankings done already. I got some more work to do on that one. Though. I'll probably record it tonight. Let me know in the chat down below, though. Who do you guys see as the best prospect pool, or one of the best, or one of the worst in the NHL right now? Where do you think Dougie Hamilton ultimately lands? I'm thinking he's going to New Jersey, Nick. I think it's just too perfect. I think for New Jersey, it would be a great addition. I think they got the cap space to make it work. We've already seen him reportedly wanting to go to New Jersey, and New Jersey wanting to have that happen. So I think at this point, it just makes too much sense for it not to happen. A second and mullet set for Graves. I'm cheese. Sweeney didn't jump all over this. Yeah, that'd be a pretty good deal for the Bruins, not gonna lie. Do you think Rossi Fiala a first and a second is fair for Eichel? It depends on the health, I think, still, TJ. If he's healthy, maybe. But I think Rossi Fiala first and a second. If that second becomes another first, then I could see that deal getting done, honestly. Chance the Devils sign Hamilton, really good, Brennan. I'm again, Elliot Freeman saying that the Devils have circled on him. Let me get back to that tweet, actually. Where was it? I think it was up here. Yes. So, Elliot Freeman, the one place I really looked at that stands out to me is New Jersey. I think New Jersey wants to make a splash. I do. And again, this was regarding Dougie Hamilton. So there you go. I still think New Jersey, I mean, even without this, I still think New Jersey is the clear-cut most likely option, and Elliot Freeman pretty much confirming it. I really, the one place I really looked at that stands out to me is New Jersey. Any news of the Devils? Yes, Luke, right here. Detroit's blue line in the next couple of years, I think it would be pretty decent, especially with Hamilton. You get Suter, you get Evans, and you get Dougie Hamilton. Not too bad. Hi, I'm new. Yasser, good to see you in the chat. Good to have you in the Grab Gang, brother. Good to have you in the Grab Gang. Welcome you with open arms. Open arms. What 4 teams come out of the Metro then? As of right now, Josh, I'm thinking the Islanders. I'm thinking the Islanders at the very least. The Canes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. John with a 5. What time does FA start on Wednesday? Predict Sanheim and Hearts RFA. Let me look back up. I forgot when it was starting. Was it in the morning? But Hart's RFA contracts, what would you be a good backup for the orange and black? Go Flyers. As a good backup option, there's actually a lot of decent guys out there. Nothing that like strikes you, but there's a good amount of options. There's a good amount of options for the Flyers. I as a backup, one guy I would look for if he's available, which I doubt, but maybe he'll be. Antti Raanta would be a really solid signing, and he could become pretty cheap. He's 32. I mean, there's a lot of more older options. And Anthony, the 5, do you think the Devils could offer sheet Quinn Hughes or trade for his rights to get the Hughes trio? And if so, what do you think it would cost? I mean, I will say this. I would love New Jersey if they did that, because that's bold. To offer sheet Quinn Hughes, though, it would be, you'd have to put at least $10 million on the Canucks, I think. Like, I think the Canucks are cap strapped, but if that offer sheet comes, I think they will do anything to keep Quinn Hughes. But if you put it in like the 10 million range, maybe even 11, who knows? And also to trade for his rights, I think it would be a lot. Like, it would have to be, I think you're trading for at least like Alexander, or you're trading away at least like an Alexander Holtz or something. Amy, welcome back, as well as Arts Wilderness, first time caller, long time listener. Good to see you, Arts. Good to see you in this chat again. Steiner for Calder next year, absolute monster. I could honestly see it, Samuel. I could honestly see it. But again, when it comes to the goalie option for the Flyers, I could feel like Antti Raanta could help. James Reimer maybe potentially if he goes to UFA. I don't think Peter Mrazek is going to be there. Maybe Laurent Brossoit could be an interesting fit there. But he'd have to play a little bit lesser games. But I think Antti Raanta has like a little bit of a, maybe honestly James Reimer I think would be a really good fit for the Flyers. He's older, but I think would be a great mentor for Carter Hart. Yeah, that's the guy I'd probably say right now would be the best fit overall. I'm new and love the vids so far, Luke. You're an absolute go, brother. Thank you so much. We love to have you here. Any thoughts on the Devils getting a solid backup for Blackwood? Yeah, Tabo. I mean, for me, with the Devils, I mean, same thing as well with the Flyers. There's a lot of options out there. I would love for them, honestly, to go after a guy like I think personally for them, like a Brian Elliott, or even if they want to go a little bit higher and go for like an Antti Raanta. Antti Raanta I think could be a really solid and hot commodity in the goalie market this year. We'll see. There's gonna be some real options out there. Real options. Selly Hard as well. What's new? Just got here. Good to see you, Selly Hard. Well, we got through a lot of different stuff. Jack Eichel again, not really wanting to be with the Minnesota Wild, not really wanting to go after him. The price is too high. Same thing with the Rangers. Same thing with the Montreal Canadiens. David Savard will probably end up a Montreal Canadian. Dougie Hamilton will probably end up in New Jersey. A lot of different stuff. Who do you think Boston could pick up? For me, one of the big guys I would really like to see on that team is Ryan Suter. I think that'd be a great fit. On the forwards, I would love for them to go after Blake Coleman. That is a perfect fit for them. Even though I wouldn't love it because I don't want to see him in Boston. I want to see him in Dallas. But as a top 6 option, he would be great on that second line alongside Krejci and Hall, I think. Thoughts on Pittsburgh's future? It's not great, but I think they could still have a couple of playoff berths. Thoughts on the noted LA rumors? Yeah, we did see that. I'm kind of interested in that because again, LA doesn't really have any centers besides on the Kopitar. So we'll see. Trade, what are you guys talking about? Also interesting stuff coming from David Pagnota. The Oilers did not extend qualifying offers to forwards Dominic Cahoon and Juju Arcara. Very interesting there. Get this stream to 500 likes, everyone. Agreed. We're at 365, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new. And by the way, we will be making a new mod right now. What's the current scoop of the Wild, Gavin? I'll give it to you. Where was it? Here it was. So Minnesota, I've heard, has felt that the price is just too high on Jack Eichel. That's one of the biggest things from the Minnesota Wild recently. Right, what's going on, Tarasenko? Amy, apparently St. Louis is just not going to trade him, most likely. Just not going to trade him. All right. So, you know what? Let's make a new mod right now. Any updates on Meyer? I haven't seen too much. Chance, what's going on? And by the way, shout out to the members in this chat. Good to see you guys. Do you see St. Louis missing the playoffs next year? I think they have like a 50-50 chance. Oh my gosh. Chance with a 2 coming in. He says hi and instantly donates. What a go. Thank you so much, Chance. Appreciate it a ton. Again. Are you kidding me? Anything on the Flames or the Jets? Not really, Matt. Not really. 2 pretty quiet teams thus far. And Caden, new mod. Woo, hype. You know what? This is easy. I'm going to make Caden a mod, but I'm also going to make another one because I think there's a lot of deserving people in this chat right now. So Caden is one of the new mods, but we're going to be making another. Oh my gosh. Jonathan and Alex back-to-back memberships. Oh my goodness, thank you guys so much, you beauts. Jonathan and Alex, love y'all. Welcome to the member gang. Some mutant exclusive content coming your way. Just look on the community tab and you'll find some member videos. Thank you so much, though. Thank you so much. Alex and Jonathan, can we get some hype for the two brothers? Let's try and push for 50K, boys. Agreed, Alistair. I would love to be a mod. Just finished my work. Would love to join. Hey, Jacob. Good to hear. Anything on the Devils? Yes, hockey goalie. Yes. Let me go back to it. But this was Elliot Freeman talking about Dougie Hamilton. New Jersey is the frontrunner for them. Oh my gosh. Jacob with a 4 and Chance with a 2. Thank you guys so much. Oh my gosh. Jacob, you beaut, and Chance. Any news on the Kings? Alex, right now, it appears Phil Deneau could be heading to LA. That was reported by Elliot Freeman as well. That LA's been kind of sniffing on Deneau. Could be maybe the front runner there in the Deneau race. All right, so you know what? Let's make a new mod right now. Ajax, what's going on, brother? Let's see. Okay, get some mod hype in the chat down below. Let me know who you guys want to see be made the new mod on the channel. Let me see who's in the chat right now. Ooh. And of course, guys, get some Kane hype as well. Another new mod made. Ooh. Okay, we got some good people here. Whoever gets to know will get a great player. Absolutely agree, Steel Wolf. All right, so let's get the poll going, shall we? Oh my gosh. Jacob Anderson with the 4 and Gregory the 5. Gregory as well says, who do you think Seattle should get to help them offensively? In terms of pure offense, I mean, Landeskog to me is the big addition. I mean, their defense is already pretty competent, but to me, Landeskog would be such a great power play option, personally. But I think for the Seattle, Landeskog is the big guy. If you're looking at other ones, I mean, Hoffman will be a great offensive scorer. But I think Landeskog could be one of the best overall options for the Seattle Kraken. But thank you guys so much, Jacob and Gregory. Who do you guys want or vote as the next grab mod? All right. I'm putting the names in the thing now. In the thingamajigger now. Jacob. Canucks playoffs next season. If OEL rebounds, I'm gonna say yes. Just because that Pacific Division sucks. But if they rebound, I'm gonna say yes. All right, let me put 4 options here. Ooh. All right. The poll is coming into the chat now. I will let the poll go for 10 minutes. Been here since 5K. Ayo, sold. Ayo, appreciate it, beauty. That's a long time, man. How long is that? I hit 5K in May 2019. So there you go. Since 2019. That's an OG right there. How much do you think Barkov get extended for? If he goes anything under 10 million, I'm going to be surprised, honestly. Like, if Florida somehow is able to get him under 10 million, Barkov should fire his agent. Like, he's worth Matthews' money. I think in a re-signing phase. Andre, what's going on? Just joined. What's up? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the chat. All right, so we got Alistair, Vinny, Minka, and your boy Mam as the options for the next mod, guys. Vote in that mod poll. We got 138 votes right now, but 800 people in here. Vote in that poll if you guys haven't. Like the video and subscribe if you guys are new. Join the Grab Gang. We're on the road to 45K, which is unreal. Absolutely unreal. And this past week, I just want to say thank you guys so much. So much. It's been... I've been looking at the analytics, and again, it's been the best week ever on the channel. The donations, the everything, you guys have been just so incredible, and it's just so fun to talk hockey and to talk these rumors and talk draft and the expand draft, now free agency with you guys. It's been an amazing ride, just amazing ride, and it's been so fun to cap off this hockey season with this last couple of weeks. Really, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Does Seattle still need a leader, or do they already have one? To me, they have Giordano, I think, Josh, but when you look at cup winners over the years, they have multiple leaders. I think they could definitely add a couple, especially on that 4 group. Oh, and Tyler Mackey with a 10! Tyler! Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Tyler, you beautiful. I can't even, Tyler. Thank you so much. And Mike with a 5. Guys, come on. Love y'all. Can I get your opinion on Mika apparently wanting 10 million? I mean, it's not surprising. Also, appreciate the support. Hello there. I love me some Obi-Wan. Apparently 10 million. I'm going to say this right now. Zibanejad wanting 10 million just makes me want Eichel more. Honestly, I wouldn't pay it. Great goal scorer, a little bit injury prone, very inconsistent. I don't know. 10 million is a little bit rich for me, especially with the Rangers who need all the cap space they can get. I would love Mika to still stay. 10 million. He needs to be under that, I think, personally. Oh my gosh. And Jonathan, the 10 Canadiens. Just want to see Pasta over Matthews. Wow. I see you, Jonathan. I see you. Can we get some Jonathan hype as well in the chat down below? And some hype for all donators. Thank you guys so much. Some Tyler, some Mike, some Jonathan hype. But that's a spicy one right there. I gotta disagree. But Pasta is still my boy. I gotta see, is there anything else been reported? I don't think so. By the way, Christian says, trade proposal. Jack Eichel and Jeff Skinner, 1 or 2 million to retain to Montreal for KK 2022 first. Moves to 2023 if it's in the top 10. 2022 second and Gourde. Let me know what you think. I doubt that Jeff Skinner is going to be involved in the Jack Eichel trade. I think they want to maximize as much in that Jack Eichel trade, and trading Jeff Skinner alongside it, I don't think it would work really. By the way, right now, again, Alistair and for Elvini, Minka, and your boy Mam are the big views in the mod poll. Vote in that mod poll right now. We got 6 minutes to go. And 250 votes, so make sure you guys keep it coming. Right now, your boy Mam just leading 33% to 32%. We'll see who wins. PK Subban to Chicago, Anthony Duclair breakout season. Imagine Subban on the Blackhawks. That would be pretty cool. Hello there. Yusef isn't on the Devils and is a UFA. Are you saying he'd resign? Or resign back in New Jersey? Who do you think, or what do you think is going to happen with Kaprizov? I have a feeling he's going to sign on a 3-year bridge deal. That's what I'm thinking right now. Oh, by the way, people asking what the news was on Jack Eichel. Let me scroll back to it. So again, we were speculating about what teams will be in on Jack Eichel at this point, but Freeman said on 31 Thoughts the Rangers and Sabres are not close to a package. Sabres wanted the likes of Schneider and Lundqvist, and they wanted one of the top young players already on the roster, as well as the confirmation of the Minnesota Wild. I've heard that the price is too high, and Eric Engels as well saying that the Montreal Canadiens were believed to be in on Eichel and poked around, but are not heavily invested in getting him. And Eric Engels does not see that changing. So a lot of the big frontrunners for Jack Eichel have just soured on the idea of getting him. Must-say floor looks scary right now. Yeah, especially with Ekblad coming back and now Reinhart is their second-line center. Not too bad. Not too bad. That Atlantic division, the Atlantic division might be the most underrated in the league right now. I mean, besides Detroit, like people are saying that like even Detroit could be okay. But looking at the division now, I mean, you got like I'm gonna say this right now. And this might be a hot take for some people, but I just see it being the way it is. I think Toronto's missing the playoffs. At this current moment, I think Toronto's missing the playoffs. They have to compete with Tampa, Boston, the Florida Panthers, and also have to compete with the Montreal Canadiens, even the Ottawa Senators, who were super underrated last year, and in the second half were one of the better teams in the NHL. Like, Buffalo is obviously in that division. They're going to suck. Same thing with Detroit. But besides that, man, you're not going to get any free passes. I think the Leafs can miss the playoffs. And especially since you have to compete with those wild cards. Like, I don't see the Leafs being better than the Bruins, the Panthers, or the Lightning. But you have to also compete with those wild card spots with the Metro, who have the Canes, the Islanders, the Flyers that they rebound with the goaltending, Pittsburgh, Washington, the Rangers who are up and coming. Even the Devils could be competitive. Like, to me, for the Leafs, man, this is not the offseason to do nothing. I think they should have done something, or should do something. But we'll see. Let me know what your guys' hot take is for next year as of right now. Obviously, we don't know where most of the free agents are going, but as far as I'm seeing it right now, I think Toronto can miss the playoffs. I think they need something with this core to do something. They can't run this core back completely and expect to do anything, for me at least. And then maybe that's different. If they send a guy like a Blake Coleman or something, then maybe they make the playoffs, but it's nowhere near guaranteed. Nowhere near guaranteed. Like, the best as of right now I see them getting is a wild card spot. And even then, again, you have to compete with the Metro. That's going to be so tough. Hey, Joe, what's going on? That's a broad statement. I know, Jeff, but you know what? I was just thinking about it. Hey, Tyler the 5, thoughts on the New York Islanders. I think Suter and Parise, Barry Trotz and Suter have been together before and Parise adds some little depth. The Islanders got to win the cup. I think Suter would definitely be a great addition to that Islanders team, especially losing over the past couple of years like Devon Taves and now Nick Coletti. They could use a little bit of a older presence on that decor for sure, even with Andy Green. But Parise, I think, would be okay in the Islanders system. I think he would work pretty well. But I don't know if you'd be expecting more than like a third-line player at best. And Kaden with the 2, would you ever collab with Nyquist crap? I have collabed with him in the past. I think I did it last offseason, I believe. We need to get back on something to go together for sure. One of the goats on here for sure. Thank you so much, though, Kaden. And also, thank you, Irene, for subscribing. What do you think NJ does about PK? I mean, I think they'd want to trade him, but for me, it would be a mistake unless you get like a huge haul for PK Subban, which is not going to happen. Like, if you're going to trade PK, it's probably going to be like a 5th round pick because of his contract. But if you trade PK Subban and don't get somebody else in the defense back, I think it's a mistake. There's a lot of young D-men on that defense, and you got to have somebody to steer the ship. Like, you have so many young guys there, and I mean, I like looking at their defense right now. Oh my gosh. Kane of the 1 as well. What a go. Are you kidding me? I mean, now the new mod on the channel. And, I mean, he's still a goat. Still, same goat. It's now a new mod. Good to see you still, though, Kane. And thank you so much for the 1. How many donations is that now? I don't even know. I was going to say, though, New Jersey's defense, like, the ages right now, so PK Subban has 32. The ages, let's say Ryan Murray goes in free agency, the ages besides PK Subban, 26, 24, 21. Nobody over 26 if Ryan Murray leaves. You need somebody like a PK Subban, and if you're going to trade him, you got to replace him somehow, I think. And Liam Bennett with a 279, you should make a video on top 5 Calder candidates. I'll probably do a Calder candidates video for next year at some point in the next couple weeks. I've been thinking about that for sure. Might do like a Calder candidate from every team, perhaps. That could be pretty interesting. Saturday will have a huge impact in the NHL for sure, Gravities, for sure. Toronto's going to miss the playoffs. I guess free agency isn't a thing. I said barring any moves in free agency, Bryson. But we'll see. I still think even if they sign a guy like a Coleman, it would still be pretty tough, I think. Oh, and there you go. There you go. The timer has ran out, and your boy Ma'am has won the mod poll. Wow, Steel Wolf Bruins don't make the playoffs. That is pretty hot. That is pretty hot. Thank you so much, Steel Wolf. Absolutely appreciate you. Can we get some of your Steel Wolf hype and some of your boy Ma'am hype? Been in quite a bit of mod polls. He hasn't won until today, but he's finally gotten done. Where is he in the chat? Where is he in the chat? I gotta make my brother mod. I gotta make my brother mod. Oh gosh, is he not even here? He was here earlier. Oh no. Oh wait, I think he is. I think he is. It says in the participants. He's got to be here. He's got to be. Yes, he is. There he is. There he is. Let's go. Your boy, Ma'am. Welcome to the mod squad. Absolutely appreciated. Absolutely appreciated. Can we get some your boy, Ma'am hype? Your boy, Ma'am. What a goat. What a goat. Oh, and Shaggy Steel Wolf is wrong. Hot take. We got a war going on here. Thank you so much, Shaggy, for the 2. Hey, interesting. We got a war going on here between the Bruins haters and the Bruins fan. It's not going to end well. Not going to end well. Thank you so much, though, Shaggy, for the 2. My voice is dying. My voice is dead. Caesar, hot take, Anaheim makes the playoffs. First round exit, but they still make the playoffs. Wow, that is a huge hot take. I think Anaheim is going to suck. But we'll see. We'll see. I want to be in the poll, but I'm a mod. Yeah, that kind of like gets you out of the criteria for it, Wes. I think Dubas gets fired. If the Leafs miss the playoffs, so they don't get out of the first round, he will get fired. And I think Dubas knows that. That's one of the things that I'm also interested as well for the Leafs. Like even if he doesn't do anything this offseason, he'll still go for it in the trade deadline. Like he'll still go for it because he knows if they don't make progress this year, it's it. It's it. Any Canucks news? I haven't really seen too much on the Canucks. Could Columbus realistically get Eichel? I mean, after this draft, maybe. Also, thank you so much, Ken Connolly. I think wait, is that? How many? I think it showed the years on it or something, or the months on it. Ken has been a member for a while. Thank you so much for getting back in the member gang once again. I don't know how many months that is, but thank you so much, Ken. Thank you so much. Let me also just look up Columbus's last draft, because again, they could have some. I mean, they would have 2 first-round picks next year. Obviously, the Chicago one. So you could trade those. You could also have the guys you pretty much just selected. I mean, maybe Cole Sillinger is part of that, perhaps. But if it's Cole Sillinger and both of those picks, I think Buffalo definitely takes it. But I don't know if Columbus would trade at least their pick. Maybe the Chicago one. But even then, like both, honestly, Columbus could have. I think Columbus has potential. I think. Wait a second. Let me see here real quick. So the condition on that 2022 first by Chicago. If Chicago wins one of the 2022 draft lotteries, the picks become their 2023 first round picks. So if Chicago wins the draft lottery next year, then that becomes their pick. But let's say it's like 5th overall, that would still count. So but Columbus could have like 2 top 5 picks next year in a stacked draft. If Chicago doesn't do well, which we'll see. I mean, I still don't love that roster, but we'll see what they do. But they have the potential of that. That is super interesting to me. Columbus could be on their way up. Just saying, Blue Jackets fans. Not too bad. Did Florida overpay for Reinhart? No way. No, definitely an underpay in my opinion. If Eichel goes to the Habs, I'm calling a cup next year. What did Eichel trade to Montreal look like in your opinion? Big Daddy, I would have to say, besides, I mean, Romanov would have to be included. If he's healthy, if Eichel is healthy, Romanov and a 2022 first, I think would be able to get it done, I think. Welcome back, by the way, McDavid of Boston. Good to see you in the chat. Love to see Landeskog in a Rangers jersey, just like in juniors. I don't know if the Rangers are going to be able to get it done. We'll see, Jason. For me, it would be kind of weird. I mean, I don't want another winger on the Rangers, personally. He would be good, but I don't want another winger. If you're going to get something for the Rangers, you might as well get a center. Biggest surprise on free agency day. I don't think many people are still thinking that Dougie Hamilton's going to be a Devil, but I'm just saying he's going to be a Devil. He's going to go to New Jersey. Dougie Hamilton will be a New Jersey J-Rock. I'll say besides that, though, I'm thinking honestly, I think the Penguins make a big splash. They have a little bit of cap space. They could do something. They might be up to something. We'll see. Adam, what's going on? Sadly, Montreal will never make a move like that. We have to hope that Carey Price will win all these cups by himself after 14 years. What was the Eichel years? Eichel news. Zachary, Montreal, Minnesota, and New York could be out of the sweepstakes. Again, it seems like Buffalo's price is just too much, and the Rangers as well. The Sabres want to get a couple of young players on the roster, and maybe even Schneider and Lundqvist, and the Rangers do not want to do that. So far, the prices by the Buffalo Sabres are not being met by other teams. So, we could see Eichel just not traded whatsoever. But you know what? We can still get some of your boy Mam hype and, of course, some Kane hype. The new moderators on the channel, thank you so much, y'all. And again, I just want to say thank you so much as well for everybody that's has come by the streams these past 2 weeks. I'll go for a few more minutes here because I do got to run after this. But if you got any last questions, let me know in the chat down below. Hot take, Devils sign Hamilton to make the playoffs. Woo, Luke, interesting. And the playoffs? It'll be tough, but who knows? Who knows? I think there was some rumor about Kuznetsov going to Montreal. What do you think? I would not like that, bro. I don't know. I don't really see a fit there. Especially the way that Galchenyuk was handled. I don't know. Who is in the running for Yandel and Suter? Right now, Yandel, apparently the Bruins are the big front runner. That one coming from Elliott Freeman, as well as the Suter. The three big options right now for him is Dallas, Florida, and the New York Islanders. Effect. Bruins news. Keith Yandel could be one of their guys. Do the Jackets build around Line and send him long term? I mean, if he has a great year this upcoming season, I can see the Blue Jackets going around him. But honestly, these next couple of drafts, if Columbus rebuilds, they could be a seriously good team. I mean, they have two potentially top 10 picks next year with a Chicago in their own. If they get a guy like Shane Wright or a Brad Lambert, and next year, as well as the year after that, and a Matvei Michkov or a Connor Bedard, they could be a really scary team. Really scary team. Where do you think Galchenyuk lands? As I think he's actually going to stay in Toronto, personally. And thank you, Coco Marsh. Good to see you in here again. Dougie the Wings, maybe. I mean, that could be a fit. I think either New Jersey or Detroit could definitely work out. Florida looking scary these days. Yeah, they definitely improved their roster with the Reinhart trade. I mean, Florida, if they can keep Ekblad healthy, they could be really solid. What team do you cheer for again? The Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars. Hot take, Luke Hughes will be the best team out of this draft. I can see a possibility where that's the case, Benji. He has great offensive and skinny potential, I think. How do you think Tatar will fit into the Winnipeg Jets? If they do send him Wolfblade, I think he'd be great there. As a power play option, he'd fit right in on offense. And he wouldn't really have to worry about playing a 200-foot game. I think he'd be pretty good. I mean, alongside Pierre-Luc Dubois would be the worst option in the world. Any Capitals news? I haven't really heard too much about the Caps, Ovechkin. How about Anaheim? Anaheim as well has been relatively quiet. I'm not sure how active they'll be in free agency. I mean, this current roster right now is pretty bad, so we'll see if they make any additions to it. But I haven't really heard too much about them either. Anthony, what's up? Good to see ya. Have the Sabres still released the medical records? No, not yet, Zachary. Not yet. But yeah, that is, I would suspect that's probably another reason why we haven't seen a trade yet. Montreal should tank for Bedard. Imagine they get Connor Bedard, dude. That would be incredible. Incredible. I'm really hoping Bedard goes to a team that deserves him. Like, if Buffalo gets Bedard, like, I don't know. I'd be really, really sad. Oh my goodness. Jonathan with the 5 as well. Why must the Atlantic be so good? I don't know if the Bruins even make the playoffs with the least Lightning and Panthers. I think the Bruins do, Jonathan. I think the Bruins, the Panthers, and I'm going to say, actually, I'm going to say the Panthers win the division next year. Lightning number 2 and Bruins number 3. That's what I'm thinking right now. But honestly, the Atlantic division is so good. It's so underrated. It is the most underrated division in the NHL, I think, right now. Savoy or Lambert number 2? I have Lambert 2 for sure, but I do like Savoy quite a bit still. I mean, honestly, all 3 of those guys will be first overall in 2021. All 3 of those guys, no doubt. I would have Lambert, though, number 2. I think he's just a much better overall product as of right now. Any Vegas news? Not really. Not really. Vegas is also a team that's been kind of quiet besides their interest in Jack Eichel, which has also gone pretty quiet. Islanders have a chance for Landeskog. I think they absolutely do, Nick. I mean, they have the cap space for him. They've unloaded quite a bit of that recently. I mean, looking at it right now, the Islanders have $17 million in cap space. Not too bad. Not too bad. You think the Devils get Tarasenko? Maybe Benji, but it seems like St. Louis actually might end up keeping on to him. Who do you think the Devils sign as a backup to Blackwood? I'm having my bets as Antti Raanta, personally. I miss being in a trash division. Where's Lambos? In Minnesota. You might have been asked this, but how much do you think Andrei Svechnikov gets from Carolina? Interesting question, Nelson. I think Svechnikov's going to be honestly, he's going to sign a bridge deal. This past year wasn't really as effective from him as previous years. Isn't he going to be an RFA after next year, right? Or no, he's an RFA this year. I forgot. Yeah, I think he's getting a bridge deal for sure. Probably 2 or 3 years. I'm not even sure what the AAV will be on that, but I don't see this being Andrei Svechnikov's big contract. Doesn't look like Savard goes to the Habs. Pretty much, DJ. It looks like the big front runners for the big guys, Savard to the Habs and Hamilton to the Devils. Hey, River Rat, hello from Dover, Tennessee. Land between the lakes. From Tennessee, River Rat. That is amazing. Good to see you in the chat again. Hot take, Flyers trade JVR and Frost the Blues for Tarasenko with 30% retained. Interesting. And Ani Rondo is awesome. I know as a Coyotes fan. Nice, Cassidy. Nice. I've liked him for quite a while. Do the Flyers have enough assists to make a trade for Eichel or Tarasenko? Cap space wise, it'll be tough. Tarasenko might be more manageable. They could make another move though. Thoughts on Zach Dean? I think he's an okay pick at where the Vegas Golden Knights got him, Marcus. I wouldn't have drafted him in the top 50, but I think there's potential there. He's really efficient, really low key, decent centerman, good passer. I just have some concerns with his like potential and overall physicality level. There's a lot to work on with Zach Dean, but I think he could be a good project for the Golden Knights. Yeah, that's another factor as well. I think if the Blues are going to trade Tarasenko, it's not going to be any salary retained, and that was pretty much confirmed by Doug Armstrong. Do you think Minnesota could win a cup in the next 5 to 10 years? I think so, Carey. I mean, once Wallstedt joins that team, it's like, as a Stars fan, I'm genuinely scared of the Minnesota Wild. If they play their cards right, they could be so good, man. So good. Now, it's going to be interesting because I think Minnesota could be one of those teams that maybe goes for it these next couple of years, because once those big buyout numbers come in and Suter and Parise's contract in like 3 years or 4 years, it's going to be a tough cap situation, but as of right now, in these next couple of years, Minnesota could be a team that really goes for it. Really, really goes for it. And if you are Minnesota, like, you might as well. Kaprizov is in his mid-20s. How much longer is he really going to be in his prime? That is something to keep in mind. And honestly, these next 2 years could be really, really interesting from them. You think the Flyers make the playoffs? I think so. If Carter Hart can rebound, and if that defense can have a better year, I think Philly could be a really underrated team. Just joined. What has happened? We've been talking about a bunch of rumors, E-Jack. Did you listen to the Costa interview? Dude, the guy had some mega confidence. I love it. I mean, he looks like he has mega confidence. Always in net, so I'm not surprised by that. Do the Leafs trade Morgan and go for Hamilton? I mean, that would be super interesting. It doesn't look like they will, though. From what I've heard from Kyle Dubas, it seems like they're pretty much running back to the same team, which is a mistake in my opinion, but it looks like that's what they'll do. What would you give up for Eichel if you were the Habs? Romanov in a 2022 first, I think would be the most I would give up. Your wild card teams in the East, Graph. I'll go right now. My Atlantic 3 teams: Boston or Florida, Tampa, Boston in order. In the Metro, I'll have Islanders 1. I'm going to say Flyers 2 and the Penguins 3. I'm going to say wild cards are the Montreal Canadiens and the. Oh wait, I forgot about the Canes. Oh my gosh. Top 3 in the Metro. Okay, top 3 in the Metro. I'm going to say the Islanders 1, Canes 2, Flyers 3. I'm going to say the wild cards are the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. I see it. Even though they've had a bad offseason, I still see it. I still see them making the playoffs. If Kakko, Lafreniere, and those guys take a next step, I see it getting it done. But man, it would still like they would still be a first round exit, which sucks. Eddie Strickland says Suter wants 4 years. Interesting, Richland. That is not exactly what I want to see if I was a Stars fan. Told the Blues are out on D-man Ryan Suter. There has been very strong mutual interest, but St. Louis couldn't meet the term. Don't be surprised. Signs for 4 years. No. Do not do it, Dallas. Now, it really depends on the AAV. If you get him for like $3 million for 4 years, maybe. I don't know about that. I think he won a lot more. 4 years for Ryan Suter? He's like 35. He's like 35. Let me look him up. How old is Ryan Suter? He's 36. He's gotta be asking for like $2 million if he's gonna get 4 years. He's 36 years old. If Dallas signs that, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be really mad. It really depends on the AAV. But 4 years for a 36-year-old? Yikes. Yikes. It really depends on the AAV, man. But I don't know. It's 4 years. Hey, Saggy, do the Bruins bring back Char this offseason? I'm going to say this. I think it's more likely Chara retires and comes into management than he actually re-signs for the Bruins. That's what I'm thinking. 2.5 for 4 years. I'd be okay with that. Also, I do want to say this because I see Big Daddy saying this in the chat. If you watched Suter over the past 2 years and you look at his analytics, I don't know if there's a more misunderstood player right now. With Ryan Suter, he used to be one of the best defensemen in the NHL. But weirdly, what's happened is his defense has fallen off a cliff, yet his offense has gotten better. So at this point, he's an offensive defenseman. Now, if Dallas is going to keep John Klingberg, I don't see how there's a reason that you send him for 4 years. But that's interesting. But if this was 2015 Ryan Suter, then yes, he would be one of the best defensive defensemen. But he's just not that anymore. He's not that. Love you, Grab, and watching for 2 years and just wanted to show you some appreciation. Alistair, you're a goat. Thank you so much for still being here. 2 years. That's amazing. I haven't heard anything on Henrik Lundqvist. But you know what? Let me see if there's anything else here. Ryan Suter and Zach Parise have not discussed the idea of signing out with the same club, and it appears the chances of that happening are highly unlikely. Interesting there for the Islanders fans, suggesting Parise and Suter. So interesting there for coming from Eddie Strickland. Have not discussed the idea. Interesting. Parise to Toronto. He'd be a good addition. I think that'd be interesting, but if I'm Toronto, I'd rather have Suter, honestly. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the AAV for Parise. If it's anything more than like $2 million, I think it's an overpayment for him right now. Harris, what's going on? If you were Stevie, would you trade Bertuzzi to Toronto, and if so, for what? If I was Steve Yzerman, I would just keep him for next year, have him rehab and get better, and trade him when his value is the highest, I think. Oh yeah, I did see they re-signed Mark Stahl. He was actually not like the worst for them this last year. Still pretty bad, but Blake Coleman to Dallas. I'm hoping so, Rushy. I'm hoping so. We got 864 people in this chat. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I do have to run here in a little bit, but I just want to say thank you guys so much over the past week. I wasn't able to make a video today, but appreciate we got what, like we got 112. We still got 1,200 people in this chat at one point, which is amazing, and I want to say thank you guys for that. I might also stream maybe tomorrow or the day after that, maybe before free agency. We'll see. To do something like this. But I had a lot of fun tonight for sure. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't liked already or subscribed already, make sure you do so. Join the Grog Gang if you have not already. And thank you so much for joining me today for all the trade rumor and all the potential stuff. A lot of interesting storylines though going into free agency. We'll see where all the big guys sign. But some definitely interesting plot twists again. Maybe Ryan Suter getting a 4-year deal. We'll see what happens, but thank you so much, y'all, for stopping by. Absolutely appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the donators and all the people that have come by and have supported the stream. Appreciate y'all. I'll put some links in the chat right now because I did release 2 videos yesterday that I put a lot of work into: the top 10 steals of the draft and my top 5 winners and losers of the NHL draft. So I'll put those links in the chat down below for you guys to watch that if you haven't, because I do recommend it. I do recommend it. So that is the link. Those are links for the 5 winners and losers, and this is the link for the top 10 steals of the NHL draft. So go over there, watch that video or those videos if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one, boys. Prospect pool rankings will be coming tomorrow, so look out for those, and I'll see you guys next video or stream. 700 people here. See you guys later. Have a fantastic night, and I love you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one, though, and officially, goodbye. Goodbye, y'all. Have a great night.